Hello, everyone. It's 1 o'clock, as we promised, Friday streaming live. So, hello, Ananda. How are you today?
Hello, Adita. I'm doing really well, and it's really good to see you again.
Great to see you as well. It's great weather in London, so it's a great day and great chat we have today. And today, Ananda's gonna be asking me questions, which I'm looking forward. So before
Thank you,
that, shall we
Adita.
do a quick summary what we spoke yesterday? Last week. Okay. So last week I've been interviewing Ananda, and we have a lot of great answers. So I'm ready for his questions.
Thank you, Adita. Just to add what Adita mentioned, one of the key takeaways from last week was it is very important for us to always be on the same page when it comes to amicable. Amicable allows proper communication, allows conflict-free resolution, and more importantly, will benefit you financially, emotionally, and also your children's welfare. So continue to remember that. Today, I am going to ask Editor a few further questions as a segue to our upcoming program. So, Editor, how would you describe the importance of energy healing between husband and wife, whether they are divorcing or otherwise, and its impact on marriage?
That's so great question. Yes, I do specialize in energy healing. Whatever I learn, I look at masculine and feminine energy, which are two different energies. An actually balanced couple should operate accordingly to that energies. Why so important? Because we know so little about that. We just like operating like we living like we think that men should behave like a woman should behave like a man. We operate 50-50 and we think it's okay with that. No, it's not. That's why we constantly don't understand each other. And not that we will understand each other 100%, but at least like willingness to start understanding that we actually operating differently. It's like, say, I don't know, like they're asking monkey to perform swimming or fish to perform walking on the climbing on a tree. It's different. We operate differently. Once we understand, we're creating communication where we start getting each other, not understanding, because understanding it's different. Getting each other, where we're coming from, what our needs are, what way of being, our behavior. Just have a look, like we're behaving differently, and it's okay. We can complement each other. We can create team with that. That's why it's so important. And it doesn't matter if we still decided, okay, we're fixing that. Again, I don't believe we can fix relationship. I promoting transforming relationship. I never said that it's about fixing yourself or your spouse. It's more like doing your inner work, understanding. And we have to remember that even women don't understand how they operate, because we don't. Like feminist movement came, we should all go and work the same way. Be strong. You are strong as a man. No, physically we are not. So it's very important to actually understand that even if we are in marriage or decided to stay in marriage, in that relationship, transform that relationship or continue divorce, where we somewhere between, and creating that communication between each other. When we start getting it, how we coming from different angles in that communication, that women in her feminine, they're softer, understanding, they're going with the flow. And men in that relationship, we create like stronger, plan, action, leadership, even in divorce, leadership. Still in that divorce, where woman floating in that leadership and she just feels secure. So she can be in her feminine energy. Because if they both going towards masculine energy, where they're going arguing, where they go like, I'm going to prove you're wrong. I'm going to show you. That's where big argument starts and lead to years and years and years unsolved communication. And it's not only still in that relationship, because we may still do co-parenting, for example, but it's also quite often transform or going into another relationship or not exist in another relationship, because we still have not sorted out issues in that marriage. Okay, so that's why it's so important to understand those energies, to understand that healing and doing that inner work and healing work. Did I answer your question?
Editor, that's really a great insight into that energy healing aspect of a relationship. But as you're probably quite fully aware, that energy or positive energy is right at its maximum level when both the husband and wife are in love and about to start marriage. But when they divorce, the energy could be a combination of both positive and also extreme negative. You have also talked the importance to remain positive in the communication and not allowing the energy to become more toxic, which will impede any amicable separation. What tools do you think can be beneficial for separating couples to remain amicable and keep the positive energy that will allow them to move forward, co-parent their children, and have a positive relationship with each other post separation?
It's plenty of tools. First of all, for me, it's like just have a notice in yourself and do that work, inner work. Because remember that relation which we created with that partner, it's not our first relationship. We've seen relationship before that. So yes, they came show up some hate, like you said, and yes, it's challenging when we are in that state of mind, when love is not present anymore, even though I believe there should be still love, just different level of love, not romantic love. It's just compassion for another person. And we actually, when we take ego from equation, we still love everyone. Is the only thing on our, to love everyone is our ego. We can love our ex-partner and say, I wish you all the best in your journey. And yes, it is challenging because there was trust, maybe was damaged. There were so many things happened, and our brain will trigger that emotions. It's actually Brain at Work, amazing book, which actually explaining how our negative emotions will lead us to all negative memories from the past. It's defense mechanism. And for us, it's to, for a second, like, I need to stop. I need to stop what I'm doing because maybe my brain is not the best advisor. Because showing me something from the past, which triggers me. And if we actually now divorcing, all we need to do is creating future now. And how we want to create future when we're stuck in the past? It's impossible. Brain will not go there. So there are certain tools in communication. First, like, see, okay, what's the lesson in that past? Can I heal? Can I complete that past? Maybe in the words, maybe by writing down, obviously talking to coach. What is not needed, that emotion is from the past. And we need to remember that our emotions or anger is actually not in that moment, it's in the past, because my dad said something to my mom in the past. And now when my partner is saying this to me, it's a trigger. Maybe my mom said something to me, and now I'm in this relationship, and that's the trigger. Because communication never can trigger us and never hurt us. Physically, it can't. It's impossible. But it occurs to us that way. So that's where you like need to heal that past. And I think divorce or marriage in some stage where requires that work to be done is a perfect stage to take that advantage of that moment in your life and say, okay, I don't want this to repeat in my life. I don't want my parents' relationship to repeat in my another relationship. I don't want my grandparents being tragedy, don't repeat in my another marriage. Now is the time to deal with that, and that's universe and God, wherever you believe in, or you know, everything telling us stop now, heal this, start creating future. And that's like creating future, and sit down again and you're like, okay, what we want to happen in the future? Okay, can we just this, where are we going? And personally, even I believe, like when we're calling this fixing relationship, it's all about closure. It's not really fixing, because it's actually creating completely newly. So close everything from the past and say, okay, what we want to create. Shall we give this last time chance to go? Maybe for the sake of child, maybe another 5 years we want to stay together. Or maybe actually for the sake of our child and us, we're just terminating now. How much time we're giving ourselves, what we want to happen for both of us in the future. We still we're still in relationship, we're still in business. So that's why I hope I answered the question. Like this is like still work, and that's why it's important in that communication to find understanding each other, understand yourself, because some women reacting the certain way they're reacting, or men reacting, not because that woman or that man, not because of that situation. Sometimes we're reacting, again, I'm going to say, repeat that, from the past. So once we want to create that's again healing. That communication, you start from healing. And now when we know ourselves, and I know actually that's what I need, that's what I want to communicate, what my need is in the future. I want this for myself to be stable, because I know now myself, and I can express to my spouse or future spouse to be, or my husband or ex-husband can explain what he wants to go further, just because there's no drama from the past.
That's
So that's
really
how we create future. And it's important because more people create.
that's really a good insight
Okay. We overlap a little bit.
here. Just to explore a little bit more, when people separate, as you quite rightfully pointed out just now, that emotions can be running high, trust level might be low. Do you think, in your own view, that people should actually address these emotions back to a reasonable level and rebuild trust before initiating any legal proceedings? And the reason why I am asking this is, if people's emotions and energy are all over, they are more likely to make mistakes. What is your view?
Okay, so first of all, I don't want to underestimate. Emotions are very powerful and sometimes needed. Now, even that negative emotion in relationships sometimes are needed. For example, yesterday I spoke to my good friend and she was very emotional about everything what happened in relationship. And I said, good, use that emotion to to claim what is yours. um, and yes, it's good to deal with that emotion before taking legal action. It's good to understanding that emotion, where they're coming from. They are important, and it doesn't mean that need to be taken into court. Doesn't mean to take to solicitors. Sometimes we can deal first with each other. Once we understand where they're coming from, because as I said, emotions coming from the past. Depression, anything comes from the past. It repeats over and over with my clients. I see how they actually mirrored version, they put mirror version on their parents' relationship into their relationship. I did the same. Not exactly the same. It's we've got different mirrors. Some of them, they are not exactly smooth. They're bended, and and that's how we can. So this is very important to just have a look what this relation telling us, do the work, and then go to court. Because even if we or to court or use solicitors and just see where the solicitors can support us. And obviously, once you learn that teamwork with your partner or ex-partner to be, it's easier for you to create partnership with any third party. Because if you don't really know what you want, your communication with solicitors is going to be distorted. And instead of writing one email, you probably will need to describe this in 5, 10, maybe 20 emails, where you're paying £300 per email. So it's very important to clarify it first. That's why, myself, Ananda, we or other people who went through this, you have to remember that people who did not went through divorce or separation, they may not have the, tools, enough experience. So talking to people who went through experience, to many people, just to create your own bridge, they already crossed that that river. So looking for others, and maybe you need sometimes few coaches, maybe you need few people around you, maybe your friend will be good advisor, maybe 10 friends. In my environment suddenly show up a lot of girlfriends taking divorce. They gave me advice about solicitors. They told me what their experience is. Sorry, they never gave me advice. They told me, listen, that's my experience, you choose. And most of them, I think 99%, that was not so good experience. And I'm just like, that's experience of my friends, okay? I'm not saying it's the truth, it's experience of my friends. And that what told me, like, okay, I need to deal with this differently. I need to rely on my communication skills. I've been doing this for 10 years. What am I communicating? What do I really want? What do I really need? What my children need? And that's how, like, and I'm not saying that always love was present in that communication. There's sometimes a lot of emotions which just covering up, and I need to take this emotion away. And I had also coaches who were like, okay, Edita, just, taking the bigger picture. So we need like team up. We need like, okay, if you decided to take solicitor, team up with somebody else. You need to create like a team, like when you're creating certain new stage in your business. You expand your team, your advisors, who everybody's going to look in different angles. And then you create like, okay, so that's what I want to do. That's what instruction I want to give to solicitors. That's how my communication going to look with my ex to be. That's how communication with my children, which is extremely important communication with our children, because they can feel that something's going on and we don't communicate. Quite often we're getting from the court or from solicitors advice not to communicate. And I'm not a big fan of that, because children are getting very confused, very uncertain. So yes, it's a lot of things to be done before choosing go that legal path.
That is a really, really powerful insight, Edita, and I'm sure our viewers will find it really beneficial. Now, to our viewers, if you would like to get to know a little more insight into how we can help you, don't forget to sign up for our upcoming program in October, and you will get a lot of valuable tips and insight on how you could have a really amicable, sustainable, well communicated relationship.
Exactly. Really, listen, I will be posting everywhere links, adding in the comments. We're still running promo. You can actually join us for £10, starting from £10, and you're gonna have opportunity for like just over a couple of hours, just expand the subject, raise all your questions. It will be great to have you all. It's very important to have that. You're not going to have only our experience, you're going to have stories of other people dealing with similar things you're dealing with. It's just like another, again, your power team to talk to. Maybe you became friends, and it's just like great to be with the same people who are dealing with the same things, because you are able to see more. Okay, I think it's everything for today, and we're doing this again next Friday, Ananda, shall
Yep,
we?
we will. Yep.
Okay. See you next Friday. It was great to see you. And we're going to be working on better platform to do the live, as we know we've got some delays. Next week, different platform, maybe improving that one. We are working on it. Thank you. Love you. See
Bye
you
bye.
around.